everybody should come into Shabbos with a Simcha and the oppositeness of depressing, which is very important to say this. I have a lot of friends in Borough Park that work in Hatzalah, and they told me that unfortunately we're going through hardship with this virus, this disease. I don't want to say the name. We shouldn't say the names of the machlas. But they say as much as they're needed for that problem, they're needed for depression problems. So many homes are falling apart, are turned over because the parents, the father and the mother can't collect themselves. It's very important in this time that we should speak about this and we should be more our friends. And if you have neighbors or family that you see that somebody's not coping these days, please direct them to the right places, be mechazik them. We don't need shever al shever chas v'shalom. It's bad enough what we're going through. And therefore Rabbi Feiner gives them this gewaldige simcha and this gewaldige chizuk and this mighty strength that yes, we are home, we are far distant from our friends, we are not together with mishpacha, not with people in Shul, and im kol zeh, we are enjoying the matzev, and we make the best out of our matzev, and we have the truth and the right emunah, knowing that es wird sein gut, it is good, es wird sein noch besser, and I think we should be mechabed, Rabbi Feiner, to speak right now. Thank you so much for everybody who helped to arrange this, Rabbi Moish Schmerler, Rabbi Gil, Rabbi Mendy, and the ganze Rabbinical Alliance. It's a Kiddush Hashem that in every kind of matzev we learn Torah and we're marbetz Torah and we do for Kvod Shemayim. Thank you, and Harav Hagoyen, Rabbi Eytan Feiner from Rockaway will speak now.
Shalom Avrocha, and good evening to this Hopkovitz Tzibur. I want to be matim, just to preface again with a Moish Akar Satov, Duvid Katz for graciously inviting me to share some words of Torah v'chizik this evening, and of course the unparalleled miyuchadik IGUD, the Rabbinical Alliance. It's a gewaldige so many Choshev Yidden who are doing gewaldige Sachen for Klal Yisrael the world over. So chazak v'nis chazek, the Eibusher should give continued kochas hatzumas, and indeed to echo Reb Duvid Shlita gewaldige Simcha, because we accomplished, as Chaim Eloshen writes, so much more in 1 hour of Simcha than in several hours of Atzis. So we have to have that positive mabat. We have to have a worldview that's always going to be accentuating the positive, to be madgish, and that tzara tov and everything knowing, komad davar rachmanu l'tovovid gamzu l'toifa, and to be machazek achenu v'yedidenu Klal Yisrael the world over, bedalit kanfas haaretz v'machazek and Torah and Yira, and in the Achman, the Sholem, and the Reyes. Eibusher is going to give us all kaiches and siyata d'shmaya to get through this and to emerge a bigger, better, and stronger. Hein beruchnius, beis Hashem, hein begashmius, le'ila le'ila mechoyel achoyel, Klal Yisrael b'yachad, but mi kam Yisrael gayecha bartz, with a return with Mashiach Tzidkenu, me'ira v'yameinu, amen v'yamein. So on that note, B'Shuska Moray V'Rabosai, allow me to begin by turning your attention to well-known Gemara Maseches Brachos Tav Chesem and Aleph. And there, state in Chazal, the Gemara relates how Rabbi Yochanan was in Bavel. He was visiting Bavel, and he saw the Ikas Savi Bavel. There were elderly individuals in Bavel. At Tama V'Yomer, he wondered aloud, how could that be? State in the Pasuk and Parshas Eikev and Dvarim Yud Aleph. Alaman yirbu yemechem v'meivanechem al hadoma in b'chutz la'aretz lo. State mefurish in pasuk baruch al bircha ketana. If you learn Torah and you do the mitzvahs, where are you going to be zeicher arichas yamim? Where is the only place that a year could merit true longevity? Arichas yamim v'shonim ach v'rak l'chayra al hadoma in Dafka, in the land of Eretz Yisrael. Lafuki b'chutz la'aretz lo. I say, he wondered aloud, how could that be? He was perturbed, he was perplexed. How is it shaykh bechlal to be zeicha to this moridik eschar and this schus miyuchedes of arichas yom v'shonim outside of Eretz Yisrael? So Amrulay, and they told the heilige Rabbi Yochanan, al demakadmi umachashtri lebei kanishta. And these yidden who was zeicha to arichas yomim, They come early and they stay late in the Beis Knesset, and the Beis Medrash. Amar lahu, so Rabbi Yochanan responded, Hainu dahani lahu. This is clearly what benefited them, and this was the schus miyuchedes. How would they say to such a gavaldiga miyuchedik arichas yomim ach v'rak, because they came early and they stayed late in the Beis Knesset. Ad kan the Gemara, ad kan unzera sugya, abanogel this nekuda. Frek the Marsha Feiner to Heilige Marsha asks the Kasha Alatar, the Vilna Gaon in Adarsaliyo as well. And it's not only Yesod Miyucha to the Marsha, to the Gra, but it's an idea already the Klayoker mentions in the Posuk and Akev. The Sefer Gan Rava discusses the idea. It's the Rogid Shavrin, the collected Safnas Panecha, Oris and Brochas, the Ramami Pano, and Asura Mamoris and Maimechikar Din. Rav Tzadok writes about it in Tzikas HaTzadik and again in Kometz HaMincha. This idea. So you have so many Gedolei Machshava, and they more or less echo the same idea. And what is that idea? The Gemara state in the end of Megillah Chav Tesem and Aleph. That's on your loves of a kapra Omer Asidin Sheyikbu Bate Knesiyas Ubati Mirosh Shebabavo Yikbu Be'eretz Yisrael. Chazal are here to tell us, and they'll also love at some time in the future. Gavaldi Gezach. La'asalavu Mashiach Tzidkenu comes miraculously. The Bati Knesiyas and the Bati Mirosh Shebabavo. They're going to fly the same way we will on Hopkovitz. Or some others write, we're going to make sure to be in the Bati Knesiyas and the Bati Mirosh that we could travel with them. In fact, parenthetically, Rabbi Weingart writes in his Achronis of the 3 days, Rabbi Yaakov Weinberg, he writes, Gavaldi Gamaisa, at the end of the Sefer, he says that one time he was in Russia, and he saw these Alta Yidden in Russia, and they were sitting on the floor of the Shul saying Tehillim and learning Torah all day. So he says, let me ask you, he says, why are you sitting in the Shul all day? He said, well, there was a rabbi who once told us about the Chazal and Megillah Chavtes, that I see them miraculously, all of Klal Yisrael, the Bati Knesiyas and the Bati Rosh will be Nikva, and Eretz Yisrael, so we want to make sure that when Mashiach comes, and our Shul miraculously flies to Eretz Yisrael, we want to be sitting on the floor, so that when the Shul goes miraculously, and we're going to be inside the Shul, Derech Mamela, we too will be Zeicha to travel, so that we too can be in Eretz Yisrael. But about it, we don't have to sit on the floors. In the end of the day, Asidin Sheyikmu Batik Nesis Batim Rosh, so they're going to be reestablished in Eretz Yisrael, close to the base of Mikdash. Chazal tell us that Yerushalayim or Kodesh will expand to be the size of Eretz Yisrael, and Eretz Yisrael, the Eretz Tzvi, is going to expand immensely as well. And God's Klal Yisrael, everyone's going to be in Eretz Yisrael learning and steiging Gevaldik Yom Achar Yom, 24/7, 365, steiging and learning Shakua and Torah Mitzvahs Chesed Masim Tovim galore. So here we go back to the Gemara Brachas Chesed and Al. And the Marshal, the Gra, the Klayoker, the Rugged Shover, the Gan Rove, Rotzedek Kohen, the Ramami Pano. And they're all more or less echoing the very same theme, and that is based on the Gemara and Megillah Chav Tesem and Aleph. Since if you're Kofeya Moko, as your Iker Mokum Kvias for Torah. Again, we have the Gemara Brochus, the Vav Hamad Beis, earlier called Kofeya Mokum, the Tfilosu, Kei of Rabbi Ezra, Omer Meilav, Ein Ane Bechosa, Tabita Shal Abramino, Gemara Dav Zayin Hamad Beis, called Kofeya Mokum, the Tfilosu, some of the Girsel, Taroso. If you have a Kviyas Mokum for your Tfila, a Kviyas Mokum for your Torah, and then a Mela, Zogdor of Yochanan, once they told me that the Gavaldi Yiskus was the economy of Machastri to make Kanishta, these Heilige Yidden, these Torah Yidden, they're so excited about Torah, and their home is what? They don't sit and relax in their home. No, their Iker Kviyas is Achbarak in the base Kneseth, is in the base Medrash, and they come early in the morning and they stay late at night, and that's Megala Milsa, that their Iker Chashivas Mokum, the Iker Kviyas Mokum is where the Torah is where the Tefillah is. Amela, if they come early and they stay late in the base Knesset, the base Medrash, it's guaranteed one day to go to Eretz Yisrael, since it's destined inevitably to make its way to Eretz Yisrael when Mashiach comes, then already right here and right now, right hashta, it already has a din, a bechina of Eretz Yisrael, has quasi Eretz Yisrael dikastanis, because you're showing that this is my kviyas mokom, this is my place, together with the Torah, together with the tefillah. And if the base Knesset, the base Medrash one day is ultimately destined to make its way to Eretz Yisrael, then already right here, right now, this is my Kviyas, this is my Dalan Amos, state in the Grosh, state in the Marshal, it's as if I'm already living and breathing in Eretz Yisrael already now. Mela can be Zaycha to the Arichas Yomim promise of Laman Yirbu Yemecham Al Adamok. It's already right here in Chutz La'aretz. It's already Nechshav, like a Chelek, like a Bechina of being in Eretz Yisrael. Ad Kan, the Gro, the Marshal, and all the others. Along comes our Moshe Wolfson Shlita, Heilige Mashkiach and Tervadas, and he is Mosef a Gavaldig and a Kuda, Myridik Hara, and his Amunas Itecha Godosha Pesach. Zogta Moshe Wolfson, Myridik Azach. What do we say in Agodosha Pesach? Ilu no solanu asatayra, v'lo echnisonu l'Eretz Yisrael dayenu. State in Agodosha Pesach, in the context of dayenu. We say out loud on Leil Seder that Eibishter, had you given us the Torah, but you didn't bring us into Eretz Yisrael, it would have been Dayenu, it would have been Kedai, it would have been sufficient, and we're going to be Maideh and Meshabech the Eibishter just for giving us the Torah. Frankly, Moshe Wolfson in the Kasha. Doesn't the Rabban right become a dukti in a number of places? The Rashbam and all Rishonim that the Iker Mokum Hasiyas and Kiyam and Mitzvahs is Ach Barak in Eretz Yisrael. So how can we proudly sing such a declaration? Ilu no solanu asatayra v'lo echnisonu l'Eretz Yisrael dayenu would have been enough. How could that be enough? So you have the Torah, Gavaldik, that's the greatest matana in the history of the world. Kila kachtov, nasati lachem torosi al tazovu. It's the greatest gift in the history of the world. I but yidin morav raboisa acharei kechlos hakol. It's not Eretz Yisrael. It's not the Ikar Mokum Asiyas and Kiyam HaMitzvahs. It's not the Eretz Yisrael of Baba Basu Kufrun Chesam Abeis and that Avir Datzol Machkim. It's not Ein Torah Ketoras Eretz Yisrael. So if we're not in Eretz Yisrael, how can it be Dayenu? Zog the Heiliger Moshe Wolfson. That's Sof Kol Sof, based on the Gra and the Marshal. And that since Asidin Sheyikbu Botik and Asiyas Botim in Roshas, since Lamaista, they're guaranteed to go to Eretz Yisrael, then already right here and right now they have a Bechina, they have a Me'ain of Kedushas Eretz Yisrael. Not Stam, that it's a Bechina. And Mama says the Avira, the Kedusha of Eretz Yisrael, it's as if I'm in Eretz Yisrael. How? Ayadei the Torah. Ayadei Liman Torah, you could transform any mokum within which you find yourselves. Klal Yisrael, Achavereya, you can take Ayadei Liman and Asmana Satira, and you can take a Kviyas Mokum, and you can give it Kedushas Eretz Yisrael, a Bechina of Avir Eretz Yisrael, Avid Eretz Yisrael Machkim, Ayadei the Liman Atira, and Mamela you'll have a Clarkites. You'll have such a clarity because it's as if you're living in Eretz Yisrael. That's the schus of the Kviyas Makom, Ayadei the Torah, Zogt Klal Yisrael and Dayenu year after year Leil Seder, Ilu Nasalanu Asatayra, V'lo Echnisonu Etzol Dayenu. Why? What's the pshat ma'pesha advarim? Zogt the Amunas Itecha, because Ayadei Liman HaTorah V'asmoda Rabba V'atzuma. If that's my chavivus, that's my chashivus, then this mokum where I'm learning Torah right here and right now has a quasi status of Me'ena Bechina of Kedushas Eretz Yisrael. Zos like Rabbi Yochanan told us, it's as if you're living in Eretz Yisrael, you can be Zechad the Riches Yomim Dikasar. So too right here and right now, and would have been enough because it's as if I'm already in Eretz Yisrael. Klal Yisrael. Nimtzeinu l'meidin. And we walk away from this Gavaldiga Gemara and Brochas Tav Chesem and Aleph with all the aforementioned before and the Geshmako Safa by the Amunas Itacha. What do we see? That you can have Kedushas Eretz Yisrael even in Chutz La'aretz. How you do that? Ayadei Liman HaTorah, which means even when you're not in the base Kneseth Mamish, and even if you're not in the base Medrash Mamish, the Yeshivas, the Kolim, Rachmana Litzlan, the Bata Kinesias, the Mokum HaMikdash, the Mikdash Ma'at, they're closed. We can't get inside. We can't go ahead and be in our beloved, cherished Bata Kinesias and Bata Rosh. We can't get together with the Choshev and Mirocznik IGUD. We can't get there in person. We can't be there to celebrate Torah B'Yachanai. But if you can be Kovei Mokum in each and every one of your homes, people say, but I don't have the base Knesset, I don't have the base Menrish. Very nice. I see them that they will be Nikvan Eretz Yisrael. I know, but what do we see from the above? The Indian is that if this is my Kviyas Mokum, and this is where I sit and I shtay, then I could take any Dalet Amis, even in my own house, and I could turn it into a Ma'ena, into a Bechinem Eretz Yisrael. There's a reason the Gemara says, Weiter, and Brochas Tav Chesem and Aleph, Miyom Shachar Beis HaMikdash, Ein Lo La, Kodesh Baruch Hu, LeDalet Amis Shaloch HaBilva. At the end of the day, there's a Churban Abayis, Rachmana Litzlan. We're all in this harsh, long, and bitter exile. And we have the myriad pogroms and the Crusades and the Holocaust. And now this Machla, Rachmana Litzlan, Hashem Yerachim Aleinu, Hashem Yazor. How do we in the world, how are we going to taste Kedusha Eretz Yisrael? We're in the Golos, we're not there together. Teretz is, but if I make a mokum in my house, I take my study, I take my little base medrash, I take my corner in the dining room, and I sit and I'm kovei a mokum l'toroso, I'm kovei a mokum l'tfiloso, and I make this until we have the schia, and the Gevaldik Gemara to go back to those shuls and Botim and Roshas and Kailim, and that we love the Mekomos HaKadoshim. Right now we can do Nabayis, Ma'atovo lecha Yaakov Olecha, Yaakov Ishtam Yosef Olam. I could take my temporary ohel, I could take my little mokum of my Dalet Amos in my dining room, and my base medrash in my study, where you're all sitting now listening to Torah on a computer screen. I can make this my kviyas mokum, and if I establish a kviyas mokum, then in a certain sense, mi bechina achas, it's keilu gans klai yisrael, that I'm living and I'm tasting Kedushas Eretz Yisrael, even in Chutz La'aretz, and indeed even outside my beloved base Kneseth, my cherished base medrash. I could sit at home if I'm attached to the Gemara, to all the Gevaldik Shiurim and Torah anytime and everything that the IGUD, and I saw Chazak, everything that they're putting out, Gevaldik, Klass, so Chazak, V'nis Chazak. You have your Dalet Amos Shalocha, you have your Dalet Amos of Torah and Tefillah. You stand there in your house. You have your place where you take out your Talis and Tefillah, your Siddur, your Tehillim, and your Gemaras and your Daf Yomis, and all your Moridik is from the Hasidish is from the Lipish is from the Musar, the Machshava, the Hashkafa, and your Koveya, Mokom, Etzem, for your Torah and your Tefillah on a day-to-day basis, B'kviyas, B'asmod. And then what do we see from the above? Just like our Bata Knesset and Batim and Rosh's. Azaycha Memela to a Gevaldige status of Eyna Bechina of Kedusha Eretz Yisrael. I Avida Tzomachkin. I in Torah Keteres Eretz Yisrael. But already right here and right now, you can bring down the Gevaldige Mila of Kedusha Eretz Yisrael of Bechina of Eretz Yisrael. And now let's be Mamshich the Kav Hala Bereshuscha. Because in the end of the day, a lot of people can have a kviyas makom. But Rachmana Litzlan, how many Tara Yid and Heilige Yid, they feel so cramped up in their quarters. They feel, whether they're in an apartment, whether they're in a home, they get shtickle claustrophobic, and as Rav Katz pointed out, it weighs on people day after day, Yom and Valayla, in the house, and they can barely leave, and they can't go out to daven with Tzibur, and they can't go to their kailim, and they can't go to the regular live shiurim. How do you deal with it? But Klass, if you change the attitude, if you slightly alter the mabat, then you could take a mokum in your house, and you could give it Kedusha Eretz Yisrael, Ayadei the Kviyas mokum of Torah and the Kviyas mokum of Tefillah, and then you bring down that Kedusha, that aura of Torah Eretz Yisrael. Then you can also have the Maila of the Eretz HaTzvi, and that in the end of the day, you'll never feel cramped and you never feel crowded. And we have the famous Mishnah, Perkei Avos Perkei, Mishnah Hey, and state in Chazal that we had miracles that occurred on a daily basis in the Beis HaMikdash, and one miracle was Kayadua, Omdim Tzfufim, you could stand cramped and squashed together. But when it came to the Shas Shtachavai in the middle of our Avodah, every Yid in Klai Yisrael had Dalet Amos. You had all the space that you needed. Gevaldig Yazach, we always had Harvacha. And parenthetically, Rabbi Kohler adds in his Chuvas Mishnah Sarvaran and Shut Mishnah Sarvaran Chelakala Siman Yud Gimel. Writes the Heiliger Rabbi Kohler, the Laker Rosh Hashiva Be'etzim, it was a nace betoch nace. The Heine was a nace. How'd you even get the millions of people? B'shas Aliyah L'Regel B'frat. How did you squeeze God's Klal Yisrael? How'd you get them all in? To the Azara, to the Azara. How'd you get them into a Beis HaMikdash? Teretz says that itself was a nace. And noch a nace betoch nace. Isn't that B'shas Nishtachavaya? Once we all got in, and we all had space, we had as much space as we needed to be Mishtavech Revochim. A Gevaldik Ayin, also some Sefer Tos Moshe Parshas Chukas, many different Perushim in this Bechina of Omen and Tzvuk Mishtach Rachma. Where did it come from? Where do we have this Mila? The Mishnah even goes on to say, another miracle was, May Olam lo Omer Odom lo Matzosi Mokum lo B'Yishalayim. Yid, Kol Echad Echem Yisrael always had adequate room, always had sufficient room. No Yid was ever lacking Mokum. Nobody ever said that there wasn't enough space. This is Eretz HaTzvi, miraculously expands. Why? Because Eretz Yisrael Zok the Heiligim Arami Pragan is Chaim of Fenort, Allah Tar in the mission and others. This Gavaldig Amail of having all the Mokum. It's all Novea from Kedushas HaTaira, from the Lucas and Shivrei Lucas Venokas Ba'ared. Have the Gavaldig Yischus in Yerushalayim. Then Me'olam La'amar Adam La'matzosi Mokum Lolan. It was Novea. It emanated all from the Kedushas HaTaira. The Mokum Ha'oren, the Mokum of the Lucas and Shivrei Lucas Venokas Ba'ared. Lefnai V'lefnim and the Kodesh HaKadoshim. Just like the orange state, the Megillah Daf Yudam and Beis is Eina Tofes Mokum. Eina Min Amida didn't take up any space whatsoever. The Torah doesn't take up space. Like the Oridus no say it's nice up. It's miraculous. It's Lamayla Min Azman. Torah, given on Shavuos, we're counting days until we get to day 50, which is the beginning of the 8th week. Lamayla Min Ateva, it's Lamayla Min Azman. Zok the Maral. At the first Yisrael, we have Kapitel, Yotes and Tehillim all talking about the world in full Sabor when we get to Pasuk Ches, Torah Hashem Tamima, because the Torah is Lamayla Min Ateva. It's Lamayla Min Ateva, Lamayla Min Azman. It doesn't even have a day. Shavuos is what? Yom Chamishim. It's not given a specific date, this man Mesuyim, because Torah Be'etzim is Lamayla Min Azman. And likewise, it's Lamayla Min Amokim. It was Eina Tofes Mokum, Eina Min Amida. The Oren, the Kedushas, Oren, the Kedushas HaTorah didn't take up any space, suck the moral. Anywhere you were in the Beis Hamikdash, and likewise, miraculously, it extended beyond the walls of the Heilige Beis Hamikdash, and it went all throughout Yerushalayim HaKadosh. The Kedusha was Novea from Kedusha Satira, Lefnai V'Lefnim, by the Luchas and Shirei Luchas, by the Mokum Ha'oren, that's Eino Min Amida, that's not Tofes Mokum. Zok the moral, Mamela, all over Yerushalayim HaKadosh, wherever you were, even Meshas and Leah L'Regel. Can you imagine millions of people all throughout Yerushalayim HaKadosh, and everybody Taka had all the space he needed? Avada, because Yerushalayim is not bound by the parameters, by the restrictions of space nor time. Yerushalayim HaKadosh is Lamayla Min Amokum, is Lamayla Min Azman. As the Maral told us, it's all Novea from Kedushas HaTorah. Seklai Yisrael, Ayadei Kedushas HaTorah. You have all the space that you need. You could create a Bechina of Kedushas, Eretz Yisrael, even a Chutzlar. It's not only in your base Kneseth and base Menrish, and your study at home, and your dining room at home. Make that a Kviyas Mokum and say, Eibishter, I'm going to get up early in the morning and I'm going to daven. I'm going to stay up late. I'm going to learn Torah. I'm going to strike and I'm going to daven like never before. And this will be my kviyas mokum. Then Mamela, the Makanmi Machashtri, this becomes my place, my Dalaramos of Halacha, my mokum of Torah, my mokum of Tefillah, that we saw based on the Gedolei Machshava. I can bring Kedusha Yisrael even in Chutz La'aretz. A Yisod Lamaisa, we already see alluded to in the Heilige Rishonim. The Gemara says in the end of Maseches Ksuvos, Kufyan Aleph from Aleph, Kol Hadar Bibovel Kilo Dar Beretz. So what do you mean? How you're living in bubbles? Zog the Heilige Meiri, often art in the Sugya the Anaxivis. Because if you have Roch Chachamim in Bavel, if you had the Torah in Bavel, and they were sitting and striking and being Marbit's Torah in Bavel, then it has Kedusha search. So because Ayadei Liman Torah Basmoda, you can transform Golas, you can be Mahapech, Ametzias of Chutzlarts, and you can give it the Kedusha search, so the Kedusha's Ora Torah, and you could transform and transcend the Olam HaGashmi in the Mechin of Golas, and you could be living in your quasi little Dalarama Shalalocha, Dalaramas of Torah, and you can be Zeicha to an Or of Torah, and it's as if you're living in Eretz Yisrael, even Chutz La'aretz Mamela. Zok the Chazon Ish, in the biographies of the Chazon Ish, we find that the Heilige Chazon Ish said, as long as the Chavetz Chaim was living in Radin, you didn't have a chiyuv of Yishuv Eretz Yisrael. And at the end of the day, again, Moish has a tshuva based on the Meiri. It's a mitzvah kiyumis, not a mitzvah chiyuvis. Zok the Chazon Ish, if the Chavetz Chaim is living in Radin in Europe, and then at that time you didn't have a chiyuv to go because the Heilige Chavetz Chaim, the Tzaddik Ador, the Go Nifla that he was, he's in Eretz, in Chutz La'aretz. He's bringing a Kedusha Eretz Yisrael even to Radin, even to Europe. Agivaldik and Klai Yisrael. We're not done. Let me share with you a Heladika, a rayon in Viramo. The Ramah writes in Ilchos Sukkah that when you're sitting in a sukkah The Rama says you do everything in a sukkah. You do it. Not only the eating, the sleeping, you're metayel b'sukkah. Frek the Welt the Kasha, Heilige Rama. Be metayel in your sukkah. How do you take a spazier in your sukkah? Go out, everybody. Sukkah's time. Zman Simchasenu and take a walk. What do you mean take a walk? And not only that, this is Zman Simchasenu. How much of a simcha when you're cramped in a sukkah? Halacha l'maisa sukkah naf gimel and aleph. Halacha l'maisa you can have a kiyum a mitzvah sukkah and a zayin by zayin. Rosh v'ruba v'shuchonim machlekes beisila beishamai zayin by zayin tvachim you can be in a sukkah. You're squashed. You're cramped. And this is Zman Simchasenu. And this is a place, Zokter Ramol. Let's say you have a bigger sukkah. So very good. You spend the money, and you have a bigger sukkah. So you go in your sukkah lot. Okay, everybody, we finished the labor, the meal. I got the suda. Now let's go out for a spazier. Let's walk around our sukkah. What's shot? My peshat? What do you mean? Take a spazier in your sukkah. Teretz l'chayres poshel l'finias daiti. What is the sukkah? It's the tzela de meyamnus. It's the tzela of Amuna. It's the tzela of Amuna. It has a kedusha search of soul. Sukkah is gematria 91. Kayadua. Gematria Havaya and Adnus. At 26, Gematria Havaya plus Adnus, Aleph Dalun Nun 65 is 91. Kayadu and Kisvei Ari and Kama V'Kama Gedoli Machshava Gedoli Chasidus. But state in Tikkun Zohar that Adnus 65 likewise equals Gematria Heichal. That means Sukkah 91 is Gematria Heichal Havaya. Heichal Hashem. When you're going into the Sukkah that Seila de Menusa that Tzalav Amuna, it's Keilu. You're going into the Heichal Hashem Yisparach Keilu, a miniature Beis Hamikdash. So just like we said that Machmas Kedusha Satayra, the Beis Hamikdash was Lamaylam and Amokum and Lamaylam and Azman. So too your Sukkah, which is a Me'ain, a Bechin of a Mikdash Ma'at, has Sukkah, has a status, Heichal Hashem. You're going into the Heichal Hashem, the Tzel of Amuna. Then Mamela, it's also, you'll never feel cramped if you're going into your Sukkah. And even if it's only a 4x4, it's the 6x6, it's a 10x10. And it's not that big. Machadish, the Heilige Ramah, you can be Mataya, you can take a spazier live. Because if you're margish, the way we're supposed to be margish on some chasinu, then it's gavaldik even in a small sukkah with the Eibishter. Then we're mamish in the Makam Avodah, we're in a miniature Beis Hamikdash. It's as if we're mamish, lamaylam, and amokum. We have all the space in the world. So go out, sukkahs times one, simchasenu, and take a gavaldig, a moirdik, a spazier. Take a tiyul in your sukkah. Because because me'olam nomar odam, there was always sufficient space, and your sukkah always has sufficient space. And l'chayro, how do we understand that we have the Zayin Ushpiz and Kayadua, State and Zorah Kodesh, 7 Ushpiz and Kam, Kisvi Arizal, Avram Yitzchak? How could Yitzchak come? How could Yitzchak visit your sukkah and my sukkah? We know Mefurish Yitzchak is not allowed to ever leave Eretz Yisrael. State the Meshach Chochmah. Yitzchak was a korban and Ola Tamima. Dr. Meir Simcha Megavitsky can't take Yitzchak Avinu outside of Eretz Yisrael. He's an Ola Tamim. He's a korban mamish. You're not allowed to take him Chutz. You can't take the Kabbanis, the Kochim, the Chutz. Ella, what's the shot? Yitzchak can visit your sukkah and mine because our sukkah is a Heichal Hashem, is a miniature, is a quasi, is a bechin, is a ma'ain of Kedusha Eretz Yisrael. It's like I'm going into a Beis Hamikdash. Amela Yitzchak can visit your sukkah and my sukkah. Why? It's not as if he ever left Eretz Yisrael. Avada, he can be one of the Heilige Zayin Ushpizid. Because Yitzchak says, I don't stop leave Eretz Yisrael and go to Chutz La'aretz, but into your Heilige sukkah and my Heilige sukkah. That is Kedusha Eretz. It's Kedusha Hamikdash. Yitzchak Avinu Kalev, and he can talk and go into each and every sukkah. Klal Yisrael, you feel cramped, you feel claustrophobic, Rachmana Litzlan, and you barely leave your house, and you feel squashed. Klal Yisrael, but you got the Torah, you got the Tefillah, you got Kviyas Smokum of Torah, Kviyas Smokum of Tefillah. You have the Eibishter, Yom Shachar Beis Hamikdash, Ein Lalakun Shuchal Dalar Am Shalach Dovad. You have the Torah Kadosha. You have Shurim online, on Torah Anytime, on Chazak. You have what this Murdik IGUD is putting out. IGUD, you didn't get together for Torah. Say, Klass, if you change them about, you change that perspective ever so slightly. And you say, you know what? It doesn't matter how cramped I feel. It doesn't matter how many days I have to stay in the same place. Sov kol sov achareke chosakol. If you make your life and your home a place of Kedusha Satira and Kedusha Satfila, and that's your single-minded focus. Avada bonding family time. And avada, doing what you need to do. To be machasek, hein ba'olam hagashmi, hein ba'olam haruchni. But when all is said and done, if you have your kfiyas in your home, and this is my place of tefillah, and my place of Torah, however long this is going to last, then Eibishter, I want to create a me'ain of Kedusha Yisrael, even in my own bias. I want to make my own bias, transform it into a miniature-based Knesset, a miniature-based Menrish, that's a Mailam and a Mokum. Then Yedidai, Acha, Vereya, you'll never feel cramped. Make your perspective, I'm living with the Eibishter. Then Omnim Tzvuchim, Mishtachim Rafachim, just like you can take your steer and your small little sukkah, because it never feels small, because you're going in the Shem Shemayim to say, I'm living with the Eibishter, my sukkah, Gematria, Heichal Abaya, Heichal Hashem, Klai. So go out and change that attitude and know that the Eibishter is with us, whether we're in the actual Beis Knesset, the actual Beis Medrash. Eibishter has always been with us and will always be there. And the best way to bring him inside and to bring in that Kedusha Eretz Yisrael as Ayadei, the Kviyas Mokum for my Torah, the Kviyas Mokum for my Tefillah, and Be'ez Hashem, Mashiach Tzedkenu should come Makorov, and take all about the Knesset and all about the Mirocznik. We shouldn't have to go back to them here in the Golus of America and the Golus of Chutzlot. We should be Zeicha b'mheira mamish to go back, Mashiach Tzedkenu, Derech Hanani HaKavod, and go back with our own batim that we were konveya now, that we infused and ingrained with Kedusha Satayra, Kedusha Satfila, and Avas Satayra and Avas Satfila, Kedusha Eretz Yisrael. Should be Zeicha to bring that and to have our batim attached to the Beis Hamikdash, and we could see the Binyan Shalish, the Binyan Bayashlishi come down in the Shemayim, the Kor of Mamash Mehira of Yameinu Yashakayach, to all of you for joining tonight. Yashakayach to this Heilige Choshev Choshev IGUD Chazak Chazak V'Nis Chazek. Let's make a kviyas of Torah and Tefillah like never before. And Be'ez Hashem L'Shola Kodesh Baruch Hu, take us back with you now to Eretz Yisrael, so we can have the actual Beis Hamikdash Mehira of Yameinu. Amen v'Amen. Have a gavaldige lichtige Chodesh of Ani Hashem Rafecha. Eibishter should send Rafuas and Yeshuas and Nechamas, Simchas, Mesuras Taivas, and a Gula. Amen v'amen. Thank you so much for coming out. Thank you for the opportunity. And stay positive, stay b'simcha, stay always connected to the Torah and Tefillah. Yom v'layla yashakayach to all.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Thank you, Rabbi Feiner, so much for those wonderful words of chizuk. We really appreciate you speaking to the entire IGUD. I know that as a resident of the 5 towns here myself, living in Woodmere, I like to, show our appreciation for everybody around the 5 towns for everything that you do for us on a day in, day out basis. At this point, I'd also like to introduce our next speaker, who happens to also be another local 5 towns Rav. He's an up and coming Rav, who, a lot of people may not know the name right now as of yet, but you will know his name soon. His name is Rav Simcha Hopkovitz. He's the rabbi of the Young Israel of Hewlett. He's a tremendous Talmid Chacham. And, it's a great honor for the IGUD Rabbanan today to allow Rav Hopkovitz to say a few words for us tonight. Rav Hopkovitz, the floor is yours.
Rabbi Schmerler, thank you very much. I do want to thank the IGUD and all the Chashav Rabbanim for the opportunity to be together with you this evening, only for a few even if only for a few moments. And I also want to thank Rabbi Feiner for his very strong words of chizuk and for his leadership in the 5 towns for Rockaway area. As a resident, not only as a rabbi, but I'm greatly appreciative of all that Rabbi Feiner does, the mechazik, the community of the 5 towns and of Rockaway. And to Rabbi Schmerler as well for all that he does. It's not so simple, but he does a lot, and I'm deeply appreciative, and I'm sure all the Rabbanim are as well. Rabbanim Chashuvim, I just want to share with you one short thought that I had myself. Because as Rabbanim, perhaps you can say our place of avoda is the Shul. The place of our careers is the Shul. And there is no Shul right now that is open. There is no Shul that is functioning as normal. So how does that affect us Rabbanim whose lives revolve around the Shul and all that the Shul does? So I was reminded, my friend, of a story they tell about Chaim Soloveitchik. It was in the years before World War I. The Haskalah, the Enlightenment, was rampant, and they were very powerful. They were publishing papers and articles, and they were wreaking havoc for the frum community in Eastern and, of course, in Western Europe. One of the newspapers at that time decided they were going to run a series about famous Rabbanim. And they appointed one journalist, one reporter, to go meet with various Rabbanim of the time and to interview them. And each Rav was asked the same question. The journalist asked each one of these Chashuv Rabbanim Gedolei Yisrael what they thought in their eyes was the main tafkid, what was the main role of a rabbi. And the journalist visited first with the Aruch HaShulchan of Michael Epstein. And he asked Aruch HaShulchan, Kvodo, what is the main tafkid of a Rav? And the Aruch HaShulchan the main tafkid of a Rav is to paskin shilas, to answer halachas ma'aser shilas for his balabatim. The journalist continued on and visited Rav Rafal, who was the Rosh Yeshiva of Volozhin at the time. And he asked the Rosh Yeshiva of Volozhin, he asked Hagon Rav Rosh Shapiro, what is the main tafkid of a Rav? And Rav Shapiro responded, the main tafkid of a Rav is to teach Torah, to be Malame Torah l'Bnei Yisrael. The third Rav, the third Gadol B'Yisrael, this journalist visited, was a Vitzel Petterberger, Yitzhak Blazer. And he asked him the very same question that he asked Aruch HaShulchan. And he asked Rav Shapiro, and he responded, the main tafkid of a Rav is to give drushes, to inspire the Balabatim to be bigger and better Jews. And finally, when all was said and done, he came to Reb Chaim Soloveitchik. And the journalist asked Reb Chaim the very same question that he asked Aruch HaShulchan, and that he asked Rav Shapiro, that he asked Rav Vitzel Blazer. And Reb Chaim said what the other Gedolei Yisrael said is all undoubtedly true. A Rav has to paskin shilas, and a Rav has to teach Torah, and a Rav has to give drushes to inspire his balabatim. But the Iker, the main tafkid of a Rav, is to be Gomel Chesed, to be the ears and the eyes of the community, to make sure that the balabatim are taken care of, that all is well for them. Because they don't always tell the rabbi what the problem is. The rabbi has to know. And when they do, the rabbi has to help. And he would say, perhaps in jest, perhaps in seriousness, as Rai was, we daven, Hashem, Hashem, Kel Rachum, Mechanun, Erech Apayim, the Rav, Chesed. A rabbi is to be Gomel Chesed for his people. So our shuls are not so open. And there's not as much davening going on in the shul. There's no davening going on in the shul at all. We're davening at home. And the Talmud Torah is going on, but it's a little bit different. And the drushes are going on, but it's a little bit different. But the chesed doesn't stop. Because our balabatim still need us, now more than ever before. People are struggling. People are hurting. People are not well. People need help. People need chizuk. So it seemed to me, Lani is daiti, my humble opinion, that the words of Reb Chaim, that the main tafkid of a Rav is to be Gomel Chesed, is perhaps now more true than ever before. Kadosh Baruch Hu should give this entire Chabura the strength and the chizuk we all need to continue our avoda of paskening shilas, and of learning of teaching Torah, and inspiring one another, inspiring our balabatim, inspiring our families and ourselves. And most of all, as Reb Chaim said, to be Gomel Chesed, to help the people in our community, Could be as simple as picking up the phone and making a phone call. Hi, how are you? How are you doing? I don't see you in Shul. I missed you. Is everything okay? Is everything well? A simple phone call can do so much. For both sides, it was almost fully Chodesh Iyar. The Chachus of the month should give us koach to fulfill all the tafkidim, all the roles of a Rav. The Kadosh Baruch Hu should bench us all with all the blessings of Birchas HaChodesh. Now we should return to our Batei Knesios, our Batei Medrashos, with gesund, with alle gute Sachen, with all the brachas of the tefillah, with the greatest tefillah of all. Kadosh Baruch Hu should send us the coming of Mashiach, the Menhael v'yameinu. Amen.
Thank you, Rabbi Hopkovitz, for those inspiring words. I appreciate it. The IGUD appreciates it. Just on a personal note, Rav Hopkovitz really lives the words that he speaks. In fact, he calls me to check how I'm doing during this, and Rav Hopkovitz is a real role model for what a Rav should be. And I see the tremendous work that he's done with the Young Israel of Hewlett. And I've been personally there to visit the Young Israel of Hewlett, and the tremendous strides that he's made has been really impressive. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu should continue to give him the strength to continue to move, more and more. And he's really bringing the Torah from one edge of the 5 towns all the way to the other edge of the 5 towns. At this point, I'd like to introduce Rabbi Mendy Mirocznik, our fearless Executive Vice President, to give a few words of Divrei Chizuk. I know he normally leads off the meetings, but we're not in normal times right now. So in normal times, Rav Mendy would do most of the talking and I do most of the being quiet. But so let's get to a little bit more normalcy. And Rav Mendy is going to share a few words with us. Rav Mendy, you're unmuted.
I'm muted?
You're ready.
Okay. Thank you, Rav Schmerler. Thank you, Chavri IGUD Harabanim. Moish, you're doing a wonderful job. I might retire, have you do the hosting. I'm very proud to be here this evening. Rav Hopkovitz reminded me of a story, a nice story, with Rav Chaim Brisker. It was, I believe, Erev Pesach. And in the Shul, there was a Gevir who came over to sell his chametz to Rav Chaim. And the Gevir sat down to make a chodesh for Pesach. So Rav Chaim went over to him. What are you doing? I'm preparing for Pesach, preparing my measurements, preparing the kois, preparing to prepare for Pesach. Rav Chaim said, you get out of here. Your job is to be in the streets to make certain that the almanas, the Yisayimim, the poor people, have the means to make Pesach. It's all about chesed. Rabbanis itself is all about chesed. The number one thing the Balabatim can't get enough of is rabbi time. I know I speak to Rabbanim in the IGUD, they tell me they spend the bulk of the time not on learning as much as they want to be learning, but talking to the people in the community, as Rabbi Hafiz pointed out. The importance of the IGUD HaRabbanim tonight is not just the concept of a chaverim getting together, discuss divrei Torah, discuss ideas, mechazik each other, for us to avoid burnout and to have self-care. So on that note, I'm happy with Diba Chaverim, Choshev Talmidei Chacham. We got together here this evening. I do want to mention, I don't know if Rabbi Schmerler mentions it already, we had a good chaver of ours, Harav, Rabbi Dr. Mark Horowitz. He was a dentist. He was a Talmud Chacham, a Talmud of Yeshivas, Rav Samter Fall Hirsch. Whenever he learned the Torah, when he hit Hashem, Hashem, the minute of the German Kehillah. Nebuch, this Rabbi Horowitz, whenever you would see him, he carried a Gemara. He always was afraid of being behind on the daf. His almana, Linda, told us when I saw her on Erev Pesach that Mark's concern was he should not fall behind on the daf as he went through treatment. Unfortunately, he was a carbon of the COVID-19, and Mason Neshama being Aliyah, we miss him. He was a good chaber of the IGUD. He was a Talmud Chacham and a very good friend. So we miss him very much, I have to say. Many sleepless nights. Anyway, Chaverim, I thank you, Rav Schmerler. We also had, unfortunately, some great Gedol Yisrael who the IGUD had Shaykhs with. We Shaykh a lot of Gedol Yisrael. Nebuch the Novominsker Rabbi, we put out a release on him. We also had the Petira of Rav Groner, very close to our Chaver, our Yedid, Rav Levi, unfortunately, from the OK was Nifter. And our friend who came to us as Rishon LeZion, HaChacham, Rishon LeZion, Eliyahu Bakshi Doron. Rav Doron was very interesting. When he would talk to the Balabatim or to the Rabbanim, one-on-one, he made you feel like $1 million. A real example of Koyim Chasadim. May all the neshamas have an aliyah. I daven that next Chodesh we can get together, not just to avoid burning out and focusing on self-care, but getting together, able to bench together and enjoy each other's presence in person. On that note, a good Chodesh. Thank you, Rav Schmerler. You did a mitzvah job. I love how you did it tonight. And Bechlal Moish, I appreciate everything that you do on a daily basis in your own quiet, humble fashion. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you, Rabbi Mirocznik. I'd like to acknowledge the fact that I don't think Rav Mendy has slept in 6 or 7 weeks and dealing with all the entities of Klal Yisrael, Rav Gil student, our director of Halacha, and so much more than that has been a tremendous resource. We'd like to thank him. I put him on mute because he would never let me talk about him otherwise. Also, Rav Duvid Katz, who's been on the forefront, that day in and day out. Our Bezdin, which Rav Mendy and I have had a lot of conversations with. Rav Shulman, who's our Menhael of the Bezdin. We've had hours upon hours of phone calls. And of course, one person who the IGUD owes a lot of Hakar Satov to, one of our chairman of the Presidium, Rabbi Yaakov Klass. We're now going to ask to say a few words to give the administrative report.
As we always mention, the administrative report is not really an administrative report. As I always say, my Rebbe, my Rosh Yeshiva, Rabbi Shmuel Birnbaum, said, so that's what I assume the Olam is here for. By the way, I just want to acknowledge who I haven't seen in such a long time, Rabbi Simcha Green, who just want to give a wave to him. And Rav Pinkar, how are you? How are you? Two people I haven't seen for a while, and Yetz Hashem, we should all be together, and Yetz Hashem in short, Yerushalayim, we should all get together. By the way, what Rabbi Feiner mentioned about Yitzchak Avinu, it's interesting. Yitzchak Avinu coming into our sukkah, I don't see that as a problem, because the sukkah is in itself a part of Chutzais Yerushalayim. Because L'Asid Lavai, Chazal tell us that Eretz Yisrael is Asid L'Shpashet Al Kol Ha'olam Kulai. So Memela, our sukkah is the sukkah and the base Kneseth and the base Medrash. They are all already, they're prepared, they're sukkah to be brought right over to Eretz Yisrael. So L'Maisa, it's just a matter of time is something that we who are in this world understand. But time in the Olam HaEmes is
Rabbi Klass, your microphone went off. Rabbi Klass, your microphone went off.
Just wanted to comment, and I thought that both Rabbi Feiner and Rabbi Hopkovitz and Rabbi Schmerler and Rabbi Mirocznik, everyone spoke so beautifully and from the hearts. But I just wanted to mention a couple of matters. Number one, since I've been sitting, I've been Yoshe Bodod, basically, and I'm not allowed to leave the house. They decided that since I'm over 40, I'm not allowed to leave the house. So So I haven't really, the most I've gone is into my backyard. But so I've been sitting with a lot of different svarim, and svarim that, we very often, I buy a sefer because I'm writing something, and I buy the sefer for that one thing, but I have the rest of the sefer, which I haven't really looked at. I had a beautiful Haggadah from the Magidei Musa. I forgot the name of the Haggadah, but it's a phenomenal Haggadah. And on what we say in the Dayenu, or what we sing in the Dayenu, I mean, I grew up, Dayenu was a beautiful song, and Yeda Kint in Yeshiva, Yeda Meidel, everyone loves to sing Dayenu. But I never really understood the Dayenu. I don't know if anyone really understands it. Ilu nosan lonu, ilu kevonu lifnei hasinai, v'lo nosan lonu es ha'Torah Dayenu. How is that possible? Klal Yisrael would be satisfied with just going to Har Sinai and just to dagreichen a bissele and then not get the Torah. How is that possible? How is it? We should be satisfied with that. And we sing it yet. We make a song out of it. How do we understand that? So until I saw in this Haggadah, Reb Chatzkel Levenstein, he was the mashkiach of the Mir in Europe after Rabbi Ruchen, and then he became the mashkiach when the Mir Yeshiva split up, half in Eretz Yisrael and half in America. He went to Eretz Yisrael, but he didn't go to Mir. He went to Ponevezh. He became the mashkiach in Ponevezh, and he has a beautiful pshat in this, and it's so simple. He says, "Ilu nosan lanu es ilu kevonu lifnei har Sinai, v'lo nosan lanu es ha'Torah." It says it's not regarding practice, regarding mitzvahs, regarding Torah mitzvahs. It's regarding emunah in the Rabbinical Shalom. The emunah that we would have just from coming to Har Sinai, that alone would be enough for all the emunah that we have to have in the Rabbinical Shalom. We would not need to have the Torah to give us that emunah. So mainly each one, even like ilu nasan, I don't remember the exact order, but lo nasan lanu es Shabbos. How is that possible? Lo nasan es Shabbos? No, it means that with even before the Shabbos, the sipuk that we would get of emunah, that emunah that we would have, without a question, we would not need the next stage for emunah. We need the next stage for practice.
I
didn't hear. What? Whoever's speaking, speak louder. Hello?
I took care of it. Go over my class.
What? No, I'd like to hear what they had to say.
Continue.
What?
Continue, please.
Okay. No? Okay. Anyhow, so I just thought that would be... What? No. I have to speak this way. Okay. Anyhow, so I was thinking along the lines that we're on the way, the whole Indian of Sphira. What is the Indian of Sphira? And coming up, this is what I spoke to my Shul. I actually did it in WhatsApp before I had the Zoom. Now I'm going to be doing stuff in Zoom with the Shul. But I explained to them that the Indian of every single day that we count Sphira is that day is, again, we have the emunah of that day, and each day is another, by the Goyim, they count down. They count in Cape Canaveral, they count down till the ship goes up in the air. We don't count down, we count up. We count up, and we hope that we reach the Maila of what? Of Har Sinai, of Maimed Har Sinai. Once we reach Har Sinai, that we have our Amunah already. Our Amunah is each day, it's adding and adding. And Avada by Kabbalah Satira. But of course we know that it was Kabbalah Satira, but we didn't get the complete Torah. That wouldn't happen until 40 days later again. But the Indian of Kabbalah Satara, which we ourselves expect every time we on Shavuos, and this Shavuos, Im Yirtzeh Hashem, we hope we will be in Shul. And that was just another thing that I wanted to discuss. It actually relates to Shavuos, and it relates as well to Simcha Satira. Right now, all of those who have been heeding the advice of the Paiskei Hadar and have not been conducting minyanim, each of us in our shuls, we are a tzibur that has not lain the Torah. We have missed kama v'kama parshiyos. And Lamaisa, the Ramah brings this problem. He brings, and I write about it in my column in the Jewish Press. And here's what I write: if the public reading of the parsha of one Shabbos was nullified or disrupted, then on the following Shabbos they are to read the missed parsha with that week's parsha. So you read the two. First you read the parsha before, and then you read the next parsha, the parsha of that week. But what about if multiple parshiyos were missed? So the Bayer Heitev in Sifkat Dalid, he notes that this refers even to where there was a disturbance, an argument in the synagogue. And by the way, I did have once in my shul an argument. It can happen. It can happen. It was not a halachic argument. It was something that was, it was not a pleasant situation. But it happened on a Friday night. It did not relate to the parsha. But so we're returning back, that cut short their reading of the Sedra. There too, they would read the following week along with that week's Sedra. However, he notes, if the previous week's Sedra was mechubarim, was two together, then a joint double reading, which means Vayakol Pikudei. So the following week, and that's even more of a problem because you have between two Sfarim, which is another problem, okay? We never found that we read three Parshiyos. We also don't find that we go from one Sefer to the next, okay? Mishnah Brura says what happens if there were multiple misparshiyos, okay? So some say, according to the Mishnah Brura over there in Sifkat Vav and Zayin, okay? Some say you don't read it. And others say that the missed parshiyos must be read. Okay, so the original view, the view that you don't is the Gra, but the view that you do is the El Yerabba. Obviously, maybe there's some people who go like the Gra because maybe they consider the Gra to be great or whatever. But the El Yerabba, he relates to our situation. Now imagine we come to Simcha Satira. I'm not talking about Shavuos. I'm talking about Simcha Satira when we actually celebrate the completion of the Torah. What's the completion of the Torah? That we learned every parsha, and of course we learned. That's why, in fact, some hold that if you say along with the Baal Kriya, it's part of the Shnaya Mikra ve'Echad Targum. If you say along with him, which I tried to do to make it a lot easier for myself, and it actually helped me a lot because in all of these parshiyos that we've missed, what I've been doing, and I advised other people in my shul, we have a schedule that we all daven at the same time, Shabbos morning I'm talking about, and we lane the Torah. I try to lane it with the timing that I remember. And the way I remember it is because since I follow along with the Baal Kriya, I've been able to more or less keep up with it. I even did Shir Hashirim. And I do the Haftarahs also. The same thing, to do it as much as you can. But Lamaisa, we really didn't lane Barabim. We didn't lane from a Sefer Torah. And of course, there's the whole machlokes. Is Kriyas HaTorah, is it Chayvas HaYachid or is it Chayvas HaTzibur? And of course, we paskin Chayvas HaTzibur. So as a Tzibur, we actually missed it. So how do we come to Simchas Torah and actually celebrate a siyum of the Torah? Just like if you may come a siyum on Shas, you have to actually have learned it. So the same thing here, there has to be a kriya. So how do we do it? The teretz is what I'm going to institute in my own shul, and I assume a lot of other rabbanim will do the same, is on a Shabbos after Pesach. Unfortunately, I can't push it too much because my Bal Kriya is also not well with COVID-19. Baruch Hashem, he's recovering. So immediately after, when we get the word, the green light to open the shul again from the authorities and from the poskim, so at that point, I'm not sure he'll be ready, but I have to maybe enlist someone else or wait a week or two. And we are going to, in the afternoon, the days are longer, a Shabbos afternoon, we're going to lane all of those missing parshias. And that, I feel, will more or less satisfy our requirement or our need that when it comes to Simchas Torah, that we actually have really completed the Torah. And in Yitz Hashem, listen, that's what we're waiting for. We're waiting for a very, we're waiting for some sort of Yeshua that it should come about. Now, I heard something which maybe some of you had seen. It had gone a little viral, and it's from someone who actually was my Rebbe for a short period of time. At some point, I don't remember the exact years, Rav Shagam Moshe Kalmanovich, Rosh Yeshiva in the Mir, so he invited Rav Avigdor Miller, who was then no longer in Chaim Berlin, Yeshivas Rabbeinu Chaim Berlin. He invited him to give like a Navi homiletics shir in the Mir Yeshiva. For those of us that want, it was totally voluntary. And I was very fortunate that I used to go to that shir that he would give. I have to tell you about Rabbi Avigdor Miller. He never once stepped foot in the Mir Yeshiva Beis Medrash. Why? And I understood why. Because he had a title, Mashgiach, and he loved the Mashgiach Rav Feldman, but he would not walk in because it would seem like he was sort of stepping into the Dalet Amos of Rav Feldman Zatzal. So he gave a shir upstairs in one of the rooms, one of the shir rooms. In fact, actually, I remember it was Reb Shmuel Bridner's shir room. And we used to hear brilliant from him. We learned, because as opposed to our Rebbeim who spoke only in Yiddish, we had now someone who spoke in English, which was phenomenal. And he gave it, Mamish taught us something. He taught us really how to speak publicly. But he mentioned something that I thought was very good. He quoted the Gemara in Bava Kama, and it's so appropriate. The Gemara in Daf Samech Amid Beis. Toner Rabbanan, Deva Be'ir, Kneis Raglecha, Shenema Va'atem Le'seitzu Ishmi Pesach Beisai, Ad Baike. If there's a Deva, a pestilence in the city, you know what you do? You stay inside. He gave a whole speech that it's like he's here with us today. But the truth is, what he's saying is the Gemara is here with us today. It's a Teiras Chayim. It's always here with us. I remember Reb Shmuel Benbam used to say, the Rambam leapt, Efen uf a Rambam. And you see the Rambam is living. Abaye v'Rova, they're living. You open up the Gemara, they're living. So that's what I just want to wrap up with that. We're all Tomun b'Veiseinu. We're stuck here, but in Yitz Hashem, the Rabbani Shalom will see, and he will literally lays us ice from this situation and bring Shalom ba'olam. We pray for every single person in the world, because we know that the Olam Mole needs everyone to be b'Shalom or b'Shalva, and then the world can continue. I grace again a grace and yashikayach to everyone here, everyone who has joined in, and all of the previous speakers.
Thank you, Rabbi Klass, for your kind words. Thank you, everybody, for attending tonight. Rav Mendel, if there is no other further business, I'm going to unmute you. If there's no other further business, we're gonna finish our Rosh Chodesh Suda right now, but we're gonna leave the meeting open for a few